NNELS Always Available Collection. Introduction. The NNELS catalog contains books for anybody, even if you don't have an account. This collection includes titles in a variety of formats, genres, languages, authors, and narrators. There are several ways to access this collection through searching or browsing. I will show the first way by browsing. I am on the NNELS homepage. I'm not logged in.
Browse the NNELS collection, heading level 2.
I will go to the link Always Available Collection, Open Access Titles.
Link, New Books. Link, Browse by Genre. Browse by Collection. Link, Governor General's Literary Awards 2025. BC and Yukon Book Prizes 2025. First Nation Communities Read 2025. The Giller Prize 2025. Link, always available.
Here is the link to the always available open access titles. Once activated, this will reload the page.
Loading page. Always available titles National Network for Equitable Library Service, NNELS. Loading complete.
Here are the always available titles. Each title contains the title link.
Link, Accessible Content, a guide to the Canadian Copyright Act on searching for accessible formats and producing and distributing alternate formats. End of line.
Author.
Author, Owen, Victoria. End of line.
Summary.
Summary. End of line. This guide aims to provide a summary of the laws that govern access to and use of material under copyright for people with a perceptual disability in Canada. The guide includes how these laws are applied, a checklist of the major. End of line.
And either an external link to a resource URL or to an internal link to download formats from NNELS. Audiobooks may also contain narrator and running time. After viewing the list of titles, I can go through titles one by one. There are 20 titles per page. I can go through the page links at the bottom.
Questions about NNELS. Pages, heading level 2. Link, 2. Link, 3. Link, 4.
Going to the last link, there are 54 pages of results. That means there are over 1,000 always available open access titles in NNELS. Searching content. I can always find always available titles by performing a search using filters. Here are the steps. I am on the NNELS homepage. Go to the Search Edit field.
Insertion point before, scan off.
Enter text. I will enter fiction.
Cap F. I. C. Suggested fiction. Press tab to continue.
Hit apply.
Apply. Button. Scan. Loading page. Search results National Network for Equitable Library Service. NNELS. Loading complete.
Once the page has reloaded, I will find filters. Using filters. Filters are located between the National Network for Equitable Library Service heading and the search heading.
National Network for Equitable Library Service, heading level 1. The Canadian Accessible Library System Search the NNELS collection, contains style. Filters, heading level 2.
Filters are organized by main categories, which are Certified Accessible,
Certified Accessible, heading level 2.
Filter by Accessibility,
Filter by Accessibility, heading level 2.
Format,
Filter by Format, heading level 2.
Author,
Filter by Author, heading level 2.
Narrator,
Filter by Narrator, heading level 2.
Genre,
Filter by Genre, heading level 2.
Language,
Filter by Language, heading level 2.
and Filter by Availability.
Filter by Availability, heading level 2.
Beneath each are subcategories, which are checkboxes. You can select multiple filters at once. Once selecting, the page reloads with the updated results. Filter by Availability. I will filter by availability under the Filter by Availability heading for Always Available.
Always available, 52, checkbox unchecked.
Once I select, the page will reload.
Checked. Search results National Network for Equitable Library Service, NNELS.
I will repeat the process using Formats filter.
Filter by Format, heading level 2.
Under this heading are checkboxes for Daisy 202 audio,
Daisy 202, audio, 38, checkbox unchecked.
Daisy 202 full text and audio,
Daisy 202, full text and audio, 6, checkbox unchecked.
MP3,
MP3, 1, checkbox unchecked.
and other formats. I will go ahead and select Daisy 202 audio.
Daisy 202, audio, 30, checked. Search results National Network for Equitable Library Service, NNELS.
The page reloads.
Search results, heading level 1.
Here are the results. I will use heading navigation.
Link, the day of the Boomer Duke slash, the day of, link, Bunny Rabbit's Diary slash, Bunny Rabbit's Diary slash, heading level, a midday of the King slash a romance of the old British Navy, heading level 3. Link, Sunshine Sketches of a Little Town, Sunshine Sketches of a Little Town, heading level 3.
Thank you for viewing this demonstration.